Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online, 23rd Century Starfleet campaign. We're heading to stop a Doomsday device. I don't know why it's taking us directly to the edge of the system. But on the way, I thought I would talk a bit about cannon weapons for a minute. Now, most cannon weapons can only be fit in the front areas of the ship. Now, I mentioned before that most of them have a 45-degree angle in front of the ship. And that's still true. But I meant that more for the dual cannons and dual heavy cannons. The weapons that are actually just called cannon, or single cannon, have an arc of 180 degrees in front of the ship. And turrets, which are still technically cannons, they have an arc of 360 degrees, but they are the weakest energy weapon. Their main use is if you have a cannon build, you basically put turrets in the back and dual heavy cannons, or even just dual cannons in the front, in each spot. Now, having a torpedo in a weapon slot and energy weapons, while it's more show accurate, it's not really as effective a build as either pure torpedo or pure energy weapon build. But in the early game, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I just thought I'd touch a bit on the different cannon type weapons, because while I have mentioned them before, I don't think I explained them properly. And the beam arrays have a 250-degree firing arc. There are a couple that have a 360-degree firing arc, but those are very rare, and you can only equip one, maybe two at a time. And we're almost at the Donia system now. This mission's actually quite interesting in a number of ways, and you'll see why very soon.
We're counting on you.
Aw, I hope she was voice acted. Okay, I'll just leave this up for a little bit. Basically, we have to disable one of the birds of prey up there, because it's got a special torpedo on board, and we want it. So we're just going to boost a little bit. Now, there are some ships in dry dock. We don't really need it. We don't need to worry about them. They don't come out and attack. They're basically just extra targets for us. Oh, we got him. Okay, now the IKS Targ is our target ship. That's not why it's called the Targ, by the way. The Targs are animals that the Klingons like to keep as pets. Or food. Okay, so they're sending over boarding parties, but we're leading said boarding parties. This is technically a solo mission.
How can I help you?
You know, she's on the ship, on her ship, coordinating the boarding party's movements. So she's keeping an eye on things, and luckily for us, the Klingons only have a skeleton crew aboard. So this shouldn't take too long. And we get a bunch of NPCs helping us. Appropriately named Starfleet Boarding Party. Now, these aren't our officers. These are just some random Starfleet officers that are helping us with this boarding action. Now, whoever said science officers are bad at damage dealing, they're a bunch of liars.
Your orders, sir.
Because I'm doing pretty good when it comes to damage. At least I'd like to think so. Okay, they've locked down the turbo lifts. Except ours. It's almost like we're being herded somewhere. Oh yeah, by the way, if you walk into the fire, it's probably bad. Okay, we just need to take the turbo lift to the bridge. We don't get much help on this floor, unfortunately. And the captain's even up here. Captain De Tong. Okay, let's see what
Whatever you need, sir.
see what Captain De Tong has to say for herself.
Captain's personal log. I have been betrayed by my first officer, a man I considered my friend, Kavok. Why? He and a group of traitors tried to take the ship. Kavok is the only survivor. There is also evidence that Kavok sent a coded message to Federation space. I do not understand why a warrior I have trusted with my life would do this. He tried to explain, but I do not need to listen to the words of a traitor. Let him rot in the brig. Ambassador Bavat has ordered me to bring him to the Imaga system for questioning. Kavok will die screaming. It is not an honorable death, but it is the one Kavok deserves.
Now we need to rescue him. So let's go back to the brig. I think we should get these fires under control before they burn down the ship that we're on. And we'll speak to Kavok. There he is.
What do you want?
Yeah, he won't talk to us because he's in a cell.
You are my enemy, but today you are my only hope. I will redeem my honor.
Why were you in the brig?
I was once the first officer of this ship. I served the House of Bavat loyally and well, and fought by my captain's side in battle. I thought I was living an honorable life, and then I learned what Ambassador Bavat's plans for the war were. I could not let Bavat do such a horrific thing. To unleash such a weapon upon the galaxy for his own ends is the act of a coward, not a warrior. I gathered a small group of officers who thought as I did. Our plan was to take over the ship and fly it to the Imaga system. There, we would either stop this doomsday before it occurred, or die in battle. I tried to take this ship. I failed. Now I am dishonored, and I must redeem myself or die. Do you have more questions?
So why did you contact Starfleet Intelligence?
When my plan to take the Tar was discovered, I knew I had to act quickly. Bavat has much more than the experimental weapons from the base in the Briar Patch. He has a planet killer, a ship of such destructive power that nothing can stand against it. He intends to use this Doomsday Machine to attack Federation worlds. I find
Interesting.
myself in a strange place. To regain my honor, I must join forces with my enemy. I sent a coded message to the Sol system and hoped that the right person would hear it.
Well, they did
Do
apparently.
you have more questions?
Why do you think Bavat is doing this? I thought Klingons fought with honor, not with these huge machines.
Bavat is obsessed with conflict. He believes that the Klingon Empire will stagnate and fall into degeneration and ruin unless they have enemies to fight. Without war, Bavat believes that we will destroy ourselves. Bavat found the planet killer, and he ordered his scientists to learn how to control it. Now, he plans to attack and destroy one of your worlds. The ambassador knows the Federation wants peace. But if there was an attack where billions died, would something so heinous make you want revenge? If he succeeds, the war between our peoples will be endless, and Bavat will have won. Do you have more questions?
Tell me more about this planet killer.
It is a ship with no crew. Its hull is solid neutronium. It fires beams of pure anti-protons, and fuels itself with the hulks of destroyed planets. Weapons are useless against it. The planet killer is ancient. I have heard stories that your Starfleet defeated a device similar to this long ago. I hope that you will be able to defeat this one as well. Do you have more questions?
Now, where did you find this Doomsday Machine?
It was a floating hulk deep in the Ta'ang Nebula. Ships from his house searched for months before they found it. Bavat claims to have knowledge of the future. He says that is why he knew the planet killer would be found in the nebula. Its location was forecast. I do not know if this is true. If our actions cannot change our path, then are we imprisoned by fate? Was I destined to lose my honor and betray my captain? Do you have more questions?
And how does Bavat have knowledge of the future?
So he claims. I was once one of Bavat's most valued officers, and he told me many things. He spoke of a temporal Cold War, where factions from the future used people in the past, each trying to change history for their own ends. One of them, the Nakul, tried to use us.
There's the Nakul again.
Then you know of their treacherous ways. The Nakul tried to curry favor with the Empire in the past. To prove their power, they revealed much of what was to come. But they wanted lackeys, not allies. Our ancestors listened and recorded what they heard, and they spat in the Nakul's faces and sent them back to their own time empty-handed. The Klingons will never be willing slaves. Since then, the knowledge that the Nakul provided has been preserved by a small cabal of Klingons. This organization ruled from the shadows, using what they knew, what was forecast, to guide the future of the Empire. Bavat is the last. He has no sons and trusts no one. When he dies, all that came from the Nakul dies with him.
Well, we know our goal then.
Do you have more questions?
And what was your plan to stop the attack?
Bavat had a plan to stop the Doomsday Machine if he ever lost control. This ship is equipped with Hak-Pang torpedoes. They have a greater yield than any weapon currently used by the Empire or your Federation. The planet killer is hidden in the Imaga system now. My plan was to fly to the system, disable Bavat's control over it, and then use the weapons on this ship to destroy it. Do you have more questions?
Oh, plenty more questions. Why can't we simply send a fleet to Imaga to stop the Doomsday Machine? Even though he technically already told us.
Bavat's forces have total control over the Imaga system. To keep any ships but those loyal to him away, Bavat has installed a series of generators that maintain an energy trail, much like the Breen weapon that disabled ships during the Dominion War. Bavat's ships have been modified to withstand this drain. Any others that approach the system will be helpless. Do you have more questions?
Okay, what should we do now?
Help me. Repair this ship and we will fly it to Imaga together. Then we can disable the energy drain so your fleet can enter. With your help, we can destroy the Doomsday Machine and end the threat to your Federation.
Okay, let's stop us a Doomsday Machine. Okay, we have a Priority 1 message coming in, for some reason on a random bird of prey.
Do what you think is best. It's risky, but Kavok may be our best chance to stop Bavat and this planet killer. I'm notifying all available ships to change course for Imaga. Once the energy drain is taken care of, they'll move in to support you. I don't need to tell you how important it is to stop the Doomsday Machine before Bavat can use it to attack populated worlds. Millions of people are relying on you to save them. I know you can do it. Good luck.
Yes, Captain. Understood. I'll join you shortly. We're counting on you.
Okay, now we have to help the repair teams. And here's another little gimmick for this mission. Depending on your class, I guess, either science, engineering, or tactical, you'll get different objectives. So right now we're just trying to learn about the Klingons' technology, see if we can get their sensors back up and running. So that's what we're going to help with. And I think it's in engineering that we need to go. Okay, so we need to repair a sick bay surgical bed and the sensors. Yeah, it's a lot of running back and forth to the turbo lift in this mission. And we'll go to sick bay. And here's some of the surgical beds, but the one we want to fix is right here. Okay, so if we trigger some sort of tachyon burst through the main deflector dish, and we should get the sensors back online. And we'll go to the bridge. Search for the right console. And repair our long-range sensors.
We're counting on you.
And we get an accolade, Broken Wing. And Kavok wants to talk to us. So it's, you guessed it, back to the engineering deck. Now, Starfleet ships are generally compartmented, so that way tactical is generally up in the saucer section. Science is kind of at the front of the main body of the ship, and engineering is generally toward the back.
Ah, you're here. I think I have a solution to our problem. We need to land on the planet to take control of the energy drain, but you would be noticed instantly. I've replicated a holo-emitter used by our intelligence services. It will change your appearance and voice to that of a Klingon warrior. I have enough devices for you and a small away team. Go ahead, try it out. Kapla! Leave the holo emitter on for now. Get used to it.
Van Zyl to boarding parties. The captain is using a holographic disguise. If you see a Klingon moving toward the bridge, do not fire. Repeat, do not fire.
And we look deadly, apparently, and we're dressed to kill. Yet another accolade. Handing these things out like candy. But yeah, Klingon ships, they're set up a bit differently. I can explain better when we get into space, though. Okay, let's warp to Amaga.
I'm monitoring communications from the planet. They're not calling for ships, so either they haven't noticed us, or they think we're supposed to be here. We're safe for now, but that could change. We need to scan one of the generators maintaining the energy drain to get all the information I need to finish a new command program. Be careful. Bavat trusts no one, not even his own men. He may have defenses in this system even I don't know about.
And what's this? We're not in our Galaxy class. Yeah, for this mission, we're in the Burrell Bird of Prey, which I think is the Tier 1 Bird of Prey. We'll scan this generator. Oh, there's some defense drones. Yeah, this torpedo that we have on board does area of effect damage. It's actually quite useful. So we'll scan the generator again.
Minimal damage, Captain. All systems are functional.
Drones? Ah, Bavat must have upgraded the security. Scanning the generators now. I have the data. We will need to load the control program into all 3 generators. After that, we can change the command codes from a terminal on the planet's surface.
Okay, let's upload the first command program. Now, birds of prey, they're incredibly maneuverable. And most, if not all, of their bridge officer stations are universal, so anyone can fit them. And they have a battle cloak. This one just has a cloak, so we can only actually cloak when we're out of combat. And I'll actually leave the tooltip up a little bit if you want to read it. Basically, when you go into cloak, your shields are disabled. And then when you come out of cloak, you have a little bit of time to do extra damage. I think it's something like 15 or 20%. Battle cloak you can use while in combat, whereas the regular cloak that we have right now is only good for when we're out of combat, like I mentioned. Now, unfortunately, we missed with our torpedo, so these little drones are going to separate and make it difficult for us to actually hit them. However, because we're a science captain, we still get our disruptor field, or whatever it's called, scattering field. So these drones are going to find it very hard to even damage us. Now the Harping torpedoes, I believe they're called, they do a little bit more damage than a quantum torpedo, and I think they're increased, like the damage is increased by things that increase quantum torpedo damage. So for all intents and purposes, it's a quantum torpedo with a very slow cooldown, but a bit increased damage, and it has a bit of an area of effect. And it has a damage over time effect. I actually used to like the Harpang torpedoes. They're a pretty decent little torpedo if you're only using one torpedo at a time. I think it's got like a 15-second cooldown, so it's a bit annoying to use at times. Now these drones are hard to hit because they're fighter-type aircraft, or not aircraft, spacecraft. Okay, here's the last generator.
The generators are under our control now, but your ships won't be safe until we lock Bavat and his forces out of the command consoles. I've equipped your away team with holo projectors, and they're ready for the mission. And Captain, remember that you're a Klingon now. Try not to look too out of place.
Okay, we get actually a full away team, unlike the small away team that Kvalk said.
The objective here is simple. Find a control console and change the command codes. Then Bavat won't be able to stop us from shutting down the energy drain. There are two consoles. The Alpha console is staffed by an officer who might be willing to negotiate. The Beta console, let's just say that Commander Talk prefers fighting to talking. The soldiers here shouldn't challenge you, but be careful of the Targs. The holo emitters won't fool them. I have another task to complete. Meet me back here when you are done with the command codes.
Yeah, we're gonna head to console beta, because it's the path that I know, basically. That's pretty much all there is to it. Now, Klingons, when they're by themselves, they won't attack us. For all they know, we're just fellow Klingons, even though we're still using our own weapons. Now, the Targs, on the other hand, we may look Klingon to them, but we still smell like Andorians and other aliens, so I'm gonna get the drop on these Targs. Now that did blow our cover, but only for that group. Now, other Klingon groups can aggro you, but they tend not to, as long as you fight away from them. Unfortunately, my away team got stuck on the scenery. But yeah, up here, I generally try to clear out some groups, just so that way I have a bit of space to move around. I'll try to sneak by, though. No, it's not happening. Now, unfortunately, Tarsi used her secondary fire, which attacks in a cone. And I switched up the abilities a bit for my away team. Temet is set up more as a healer. Where's Tarsi? There she is. Get her back up. Because Tarsi is my main attacker. Yeah, that blue explosion was a mortar shell that Scavron set down.
Captain, I've been monitoring your progress from the ship. You are very close to one of the control consoles. There are Klingons where you need to go. You will either need to convince them to leave their post, or find other means of getting access.
Okay. Now, this is Commander Talk. He doesn't like to talk.
The Empire will prevail.
Stand aside, Toba.
Death to the enemies of the Empire.
And he calls us a Batak, which I believe means coward. Even though we challenged him to a fight, so I don't see what's so cowardly of us. And we'll override this generator. Now, we don't have to...
Mission was successful. Excellent. Mine was as well. I have smashed the device that Bovat used to control his Doomsday Machine. The planet killer is now as dangerous to him and his ships as it is to anyone else. You cannot control the storm, Captain. If you try, it will consume you. Meet me back at the ship. There is still more to do before this dark day ends and my honor is restored.
Okay, let's head back. Now, as I was about to say, Kavalt takes care of the other generator, no matter which one you go to. If you go to Generator Alpha, he takes care of this one. Now, if you put your weapons away, I think you move ever so slightly faster. I actually like this planet because these giant mushroom trees. It's not really one of my favorite planets, but I do like the look of it. Some nice alien vistas. Oh yeah, I was talking about Klingon ships. Now, this section at the back is basically the main body of the ship. It houses everything except the bridge. It has engineering, science, sickbay, you name it. And then they generally have a kind of neck section that's largely empty, and then the head section. The head section has the bridge, I think some quarters, like officers' quarters, and it has the sensor array. And here's Bovat, waiting for us.
You? You stumbled into my trap in the briar patch like a blind Krishna cat. And here you are again, luring Starfleet ships to my testing grounds. The Doomsday Machine will destroy them. It will create glorious, endless war and strife. And it is all possible because of you. Your naivete has been a great help to me. Thank you.
No! I will not allow you to dishonor the Empire with your thirst for blood. We face our enemies as warriors, Bovat. We do not massacre innocents with machines of death.
There are no innocents. There are only the strong and the weak.
Are you strong enough to fight your own weapon? I have destroyed the device controlling the planet killer. No one is safe.
This isn't over. Warriors, attack! Joel, Ichu!
For those wondering, Joli Chu means beam me up. It's kind of obvious, wouldn't you think about it, but hey, maybe you didn't know. Let's board our ship.
Captain, Klingon comm traffic just spiked. Bavat's forces have lost control of the Doomsday Machine, and they are scrambling all available ships to try to stop it. I've been in contact with Commander Burgess. Now that the energy drain won't affect our ships, the Starfleet task force is inbound. We need to get back into space as soon as possible.
Okay, let's board our ship.
I see it. Bavat's planet killer is here. Maybe it has a weakness that we haven't found yet. We need to run a scan. Go to the navigation beacon. That should be close enough for the scan, but far enough away to keep us safe until help arrives.
Okay, let's go to the navigational beacon. And that kind of ice cream cone looking thing is the planet killer. Also known as the Doomsday Machine.
Structural integrity holding, sir. We're shook up, but we'll be okay. Captain, there's an unauthorized shuttle launch. It's Kavok. Hail coming in, sir. I'll put it on the main screen.
Stay where you are, Captain. I'll handle this.
Kavok, turn that shuttle around. You'll be killed!
My life is of no consequence, but my honor. No, I must do this. Destroying this abomination is the only way to redeem myself. Farewell, Captain. Koi keles pu blood, koi puk be pu, yakmo matmo jeshu gui, se machu me uv. Mashu managich bakko chu, ni be in ma jak wov ku. Val ma hefet en jo kichtak, val bumadi bupare, mashutak kumame mashuta ma o.
I'm reading significant damage to the Doomsday Machine, sir. But it's still active. Captain, we still have the Harpang torpedoes. They might be enough to finish the job. The machine's hull is solid neutronium, so targeting it won't help. We'll need to fly in front of the Doomsday Machine and launch the torpedoes down that thing's throat. The fleet will be here to help distract it, but we need to be careful. If we're in front of it when it fires its anti-proton beam, we won't fare any better than that moon did.
In fact, we'll fare considerably worse than that moon did. Okay, here's how this battle's gonna work. The fleet's here to distract the Doomsday Machine. We're gonna launch a torpedo, which I missed. It's gonna fire. eventually. Oops. I actually didn't want to fire those on automatic. Okay, it's fired. So we're gonna have to wait till we're about in front of it, around 90 degrees. Now these hard-paying torpedoes in particular, they're actually do extra damage against the Doomsday Machine, because that's what they were designed to destroy. Now, you used to be able to actually watch this thing get charged up, like that. Now, even though they're firing against the Doomsday Machine, they aren't doing any damage to it, so we just have to kind of circle around until we can destroy it using these torpedoes. Oh, no, it's gonna fire. I think it has a 90-degree cone of fire, so we want to stay out of that if possible. And I don't think even the scattering field that I have will help. See if we can sneak in one last torpedo before it fires. Yep, we can. And we didn't even get hurt by the explosion.
Captain, Commander Burgess is patching a subspace signal through to us. The message is from Kronos, sir. Routing it to the main view screen now.
Captain, my name is Kamen. While the Empire realizes that you played a vital role in defeating a threat to both our worlds, I am afraid I must insist that you return the ship you stole immediately. I would not want to have to escalate this into something that we will both regret. The battle is over. We do not need to begin another.
It might be best to do what he asks, Captain. The fleet's in no condition for a prolonged fight, sir. And honestly, there's not much about the Bird of Prey specifications that Starfleet intelligence doesn't know already. We did what we came here to do. Let the Klingons have their little victory, and the fleet can take you and your crew back to your ship.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
That the Doomsday Machine was destroyed. I'm sure Commander Burgess will want to congratulate you for a job well done.
And let's warp out. Now we do get our ship back, so that's a good thing. Okay, we'll hand this mission in.
Kvolk's loss is unfortunate, but he did what he believed he had to do. In the end, he died with honor. Fortunately, you were able to destroy the Doomsday device and end the threat of Bavat's weapons programs. We probably haven't seen the last of him, but at least now he's disarmed. At least as much as any Klingon, that is. And don't worry about having to return the IKS Targ to the Klingons. I don't believe that there's much about that class of bird of prey that Starfleet intelligence doesn't already know. If getting the ship back lets the Klingons think they won a small victory, I don't mind, and you shouldn't either. There are very few captains who can say they faced a threat like you did today and lived to tell the tale. Impressive work.
Thank you, Commander Burgess. I think we'll go with the covariant shield array, which has a bit higher capacity than any of the other ones. We don't need this torpedo launcher, although it is a nice one. Didn't we choose all rewards? Oh no, we didn't. We get a officer. I think I will take the engineering officer.
Congratulations, Captain.
And that's what the aliens look like. It completely generates a random alien, as well as a name.
Starfleet Intelligence has completed its initial analysis of the data you found in Amar Singh's laboratory. Preliminary results show that Singh wanted to use a combination of Klingon, Augment, and Gorn DNA to create his master race, but that his initial results were less than encouraging. What troubles Starfleet Intelligence are references in Singh's notes to past events. Since Singh has said his employer was interested in time travel, do you think he and Bavat could have been planning on manipulating the timeline for their own ends? We want you to meet with the USS Kirk. It has thwarted several Klingon attacks on medical facilities in the past few weeks. They may have another piece of the puzzle. The Kirk is on a routine patrol in the Hiromi sector within the Beta Quadrant.
Okay, we'll meet up with the USS Kirk in the next video. Thanks for watching.